sheep's penned up. So what am I meant to do? Be a wolf in sheep's clothing? I can do that. You don't have anything on DG. I'll tell you some truth here, okay? I do have stuff on DG. The problem I'm having is I don't want to cause a hate campaign against DG. That's not my goal, okay? So if I ever go after a creator, it's not to deplatform them, it's not to chuck them off the app, it's not to make them look like a knob. But they will end up looking like a knob at some point, and I will look like a knob as well, so it's what it is. But it's literally to highlight that it's not normal what's going on. Like, this creator is saying this in a message to someone, or this creator's mod is saying this in a message to someone, which is making that person feel like they need to send it. That's all it is. That's all it is. But I think his fans get a bit butthurt, thinking I'm trying to take the creator away, or sticking up for him, which I get, stick up for him, but I don't know. I've been tagged in loads of videos that people have been making where they're saying, like, what are they saying? We gift because we choose to, and all this stuff. You can't stop gifting on the app. I'm not anti-gifting. I've said that from the start. I'm not anti-gifting at all. I don't give a shit whether 2,000 people a day are gifting DG. It doesn't bother me at all. It's the 4 or 5 people which can't afford to do it, still do it in their overdraft, or sat home vulnerable, or something's going on in their life where they feel like they have to. The other 2,000 people that are doing it, which are getting on the leaderboard, I don't give a fuck about you. If you can afford to do it and you find it fun, do it. But there's consequences to every action. That's what I'm trying to point out. And if you're not vulnerable and you realise that there's consequences to each action, and you're not getting in your overdraft, and it's not affecting your family life, and it's not doing all the above, then I don't care about you. Do what you're doing. I don't care if DG's 1, 2, 3, the leaderboard or not on it. I don't give a shit. It's the people it affects that I'm asked about. So that's a message to any other creator which is watching at the minute. I'm not after getting you off the platform. It's not the plan. And if you've got nothing to hide and you've got a bit of morals, it doesn't even have to be anything to do with me. Just post a video out there highlighting that over-gifting, or I don't even know what it's called, because it's not mainstream, is it? Like gambling's a mainstream thing. Gambling awareness. Say gifting awareness, it sounds a bit pathetic, doesn't it? But it's not got a mainstream name yet. But you need to do something along the lines of posting a video which is gifting awareness, to say, listen, I'm going to be doing battles every day, or I'm doing content, and you might feel like you need to gift me for this, which is fine, but shed some light on the consequences of it, because there's some people who can't think for themselves, or on like PIP or on some other sort of income support or something, and they're just not in the right place to do it. And just because you bring entertainment to them doesn't mean they owe you anything. Time's the most valuable thing in the world, and I think I keep saying people who are vulnerable, but no one wants to be called vulnerable. But I think vulnerable people feel like paying someone for their time is correct in these circumstances, but giving your time is more valuable. So if no one gave the time, no one would watch anyone, would they? If you're watching them, you're giving them something already. You don't have to send. Don't half sound like the Carl fella off TV. But when people say I should be doing petitions to TikTok, it doesn't work. It doesn't work like that. Doing a petition, what a funny thing to do. A petition. What do you want to do? Post it at TikTok and sit and wait on my couch then? Just wait for the outcome, which is obviously going to be a negative outcome because the app's built off gifting, basically, isn't it? TikTok wouldn't be what it is if it wasn't taking a little bit off someone who couldn't afford it. So that TikTok is the problem, but at the same time, TikTok wouldn't be able to get away with it if all the big creators allowed them to. And all the big creators are doing the same thing which TikTok's doing, so easier to take a little man down than a big one, isn't it? Lots of them living abroad on your money. Where am I heading? I'm literally sat on my drive. Has this happened to someone you know personally? Yeah, it has. It has. There's a guy, I'm not going to say what his name is because he is very vulnerable. I think I overuse the word vulnerable, but he's definitely very vulnerable. He wears these I'll paint a picture for you. He wears them lanyards which say that I've got something wrong with him, or what's it for? I can't even think. Like autism and something else, and multiple personality disorder. He's got it all. He's got it all. But he sits on live. Right, he's in his 40s. I'm not going to mention what his name is. And it's happened on 3 times now. It's happened, and I've not been able to do anything about it. I've messaged him before it's happened. I've tried to speak to him online. I get muted out his lives by his mods. All his mods are in on it. So what will happen is he's doing a live. He's getting Pip coming in. He'll do a live, and it'd be like playing music or something in the background, and then someone will join, talk to him for a bit, befriend him. Then they're like, oh, I'm going live. They'll go live together. They'll have little battles, and then before you know it, the vulnerable guy is sending him like 800 quid in gifts, 1,200 quid in gifts, and then the next day he's crying on his live or upset on his live, and then these people just keep coming and going. And if I could put what his name is here, you'd know who he is, but I can't do it to him. I can't. This is one of the problems. Like, if you're dealing with people who are vulnerable, I can't then start saying his name is this, he's a vulnerable person, because yeah, it might bring awareness to what's going on with him and a lot of people help, but there is a lot of predators out there as well, which will be like, oh fucking hell, here we go, on a plate, vulnerable one. So it's a tough one, but I think a lot of people, or some people in the live, know who he is. I know Millsy knows who he is, Rich knows who he is, Robin. But yeah, that's sort of what triggered it. And I mean, I've got family, I've got a cousin who's got autism, and he uses TikTok. He doesn't follow me on it or watch my lives or anything, but I know for a fact that he would get sucked into this whole like gifting malarkey, or watching your favourite TikToker and sending 60-70 quid to him a day, and that'll be off his mum's credit card, you know. And I know he would do that because I know what personality he is, and he would just do it straight away, and it sort of keep him away from that environment, but it's stopping other people going down that route, which is, yeah, it's what it's for. So we'll get some shit along the way, obviously, but it's what it is. What it is. That day when there was like 9k in the live, I'll be honest, that affected me. That I didn't want to come on in the afternoon. It was pressure. That in the evening, sorry, I didn't want to come on in the evening. It was just pressure. I wasn't expecting it. I sat in my hot tub. It's in front of me here. I sat in my hot tub and I was flicking through lives, and someone shared this live to me, and I heard DG say something about I was in his inbox asking how to be a better creator, and I sat there, I thought, I've never been in your fucking inbox. So I jumped in, and then it was on then, wasn't it? Like 21 questions, viewers went up, caught me right off guard. If I If I only heard your voice, I'd think you was Carl. I get it all the time. Yeah. But the thing is, it's when you see DG isn't a bad guy. He's good. His content's good. He's earning more money than he's ever earned in his life. Fact. And I think it's not that money's the root of all evil, but I think with normal people, it's morals over money. When you start getting a lot of money in, when you haven't been getting a lot of money in, it switches, doesn't it? It starts becoming money over morals. And I think that's what's happened, and I think the money has sort of blinded him a bit to what's going on in order to generate that money. It's like when you see these clothes shops selling all these designer brands and they've come from sweatshops and stuff, it sort of sours whether you want that item of clothing anymore, doesn't it? Like, some people don't buy certain shit because it's been made in a sweatshop. It's the same thing. It's the same way this money's been funneled up and then put in the pocket. It's like, it's not about the money, it's about where the money comes from. So, if this was a mainstream thing, like this gifting awareness, I'm sure a lot of people's accounts would be frozen for like proceeds of crime and shit while they investigate it. It just needs BBC to do a panorama episode on it, and something will kick in, and it'd be chaos on air. Like 100 and something K on it, just in like sat in the account, and he was doing videos on it saying, TikTok have taken all my money and all this, because he had something to do with fraud, his money, and they just froze his account, took it off him, took all the money off him. Turn your gifts off, you don't say thank you. Hey? If anyone sent me anything, sorry I haven't said thanks. It wasn't a purpose. I wasn't purposely missing it out, I was just talking. The thing with declaring your earnings, it's once a year, innit? So I get when people say you're not paying tax on it, but I don't know, maybe there is. Maybe there is a lot that aren't. Yeah, if anyone's saying, what's that say? Independent journalist, look at it. Yeah. Sorry, I was just reading a muted comment. Yeah, if anyone's saying about why aren't my gifts off and why this, why that, I'm not anti-gifting. And I'm not saying that just because I've got my gifts on. But I'm not anti-gifting, that's not my thing. I've been on the app for 4 years now. I've received gifts in the past. And it's not about not gifting. Nice one, Hayley. It's not about not gifting. It's about the consequences which come from the people who are gifting, who don't know whether it's right or wrong, and the creator isn't looking into it. Like, sending a little bit is what it is, but when people are sending X amount every day of their life, it's a bit worrying, innit? And if you're looking on someone's profile and they've got something in the bio like, I don't know, autism or something about some mental health issue or something in the bio, and then they're sending every day, and you're looking on the profile and the door's off the hinges, every video of them's like on a couch, like lay on a couch, like dead close to the face, and it's sort of like, yeah, I mean, you're taking a bit of advantage of that. Begging for subs is also an issue. It's the same thing, innit? It's the same thing. I mean, a sub's a one-off, innit? How many times can you sub to one person in one day? It's still an issue, I get it, but it's just not... It's not as harmful, I don't think, as the other stuff. Nice one, Shaz. CLA putting the subs up to 50 quid. Fucking hell. Monthly. Subs are paid each month. Should be a gifting limit. I said something the other day about, like, when you see these people who've got something wrong with them and they've got a lanyard on, there needs to be something like a lanyard on your profile. Someone needs to come up with that, and then you would have a gifting limit. Maybe they'll set it so you can't spend more than 20 quid a day. That means you can sub to your favourite creator, send a few gifts, and that's it. Like, you can't overdo it. Some people can't even afford 20 quid, so even 20 quid's a lot, but it should definitely have something which restricts your spending on it, and it needs to be something where, I don't know, like, if you go live and you're live for an hour, you have to do one of these puzzle things where you swipe it across, like you get a little jigsaw piece and it goes in and it says whether you're human or not. There should be something like that for people who are watching as well. It just pops up, something about financial awareness or something pops up after an hour of watching someone, or after you send like 5 gifts or over a certain amount of money of gifts, it should pop up on the screen. Whoosh. You got to accept it or decline it. It's like gifting something, sending money to people you don't know is a problem. Yappa yappa yappa. Something, so I don't know the wording for it, but definitely something which lets the person know, I think. But I've never gifted. I've gifted. I think I'm level 5 on my on this account. And I don't know who I gifted. I don't know why I gifted it. But each to their own, innit? Each to their own. Like gambling sites. Bank should be on top. You need to watch DG. Gift on my own, gift balance. Can't find me off. Listen, I'm gonna be I'll jump off now. I can stay on, I don't mind, but I was gonna jump off. My mobile phone needs charging. But I'll be on live 10:30 tonight instead of 11:30. If I can charge my phone, I'll stay on for a bit. DG getting ripped a new one. That's what I mean. Like, I'm not bothered about attacking DG. It's not the point of it. Some people have different aims. If I wanted to, I could go in on DG verbally and stuff, but it does. Where does it get me? It makes me look a dick, more of a dick than I already look. So there's no point in me doing that. If I can speak to DG like I have done in front of 8,000 people, and I can say that manipulating vulnerable people is wrong, and go into some detail about manipulation and people who are vulnerable, there might be a few people out of that 8,000 which are actually vulnerable or being manipulated, and it can help them. So my goal isn't to verbally abuse someone, because that's easy. It's to get through to people who are vulnerable, and if I start coming across as some big villain, it's not going to be good, is it? This is the account I'll be on. Yeah. Boss Cali is bad for begging for gifts. Tag me or inbox me about these people, because again, I think a lot of people think that this has just been set up as an attack on DG, this account. It's not at all. I had a few people before DG, like the Zach and Misread situation. I sort of predicted that on the live, before it happened, and the outcome, and who would tumble afterwards, and it's all seemed to come into place. If anyone's in here has recorded those lives from about 5 days ago or something, just go back, have a look at it. I called everything what was going to happen. I need my other phone to charge. Oh, it's up. One sec. So I'll put the music on. I'm sat here, I can hear myself breathing. Have you even got a good playlist?